Yo, what is up, guys? James Carter TV, and I'm here to release my mid-season 2016 NFL mock draft. We're after week 8 of the NFL season, and I'm going to release a couple videos looking at some mid-season things. First thing is a mock draft, and then tomorrow I'm releasing my updated projections for the NFL season, so stay tuned for that being uploaded tomorrow. But for today, we have a mock draft. Now, this is still part of my way too early mock draft editions. Like, I had one before the season. This one qualifies under that. I'm not calling this my 2016 mock draft 1.0. My 1.0 will be the minute the season ends. I'll upload it. That's my 1.0. This is just way too early. Let's have fun. Let's make a mock draft. Now, the whole mock draft is down in the description below. I'm not going to talk about each and every pick. We'll be here all day, but I'll talk about the things that I believe about this draft as a whole and the picks you might have some grievances with. But feel free to comment down below anything you have, any problems, any criticisms. I'll look at your comment. I'll probably reply. So let's have a good, fun conversation. Now, first, I have the Detroit Lions taking Laremy Tunsil, offensive tackle out of Ole Miss. If he can be healthy for the rest of the season, I think he'll solidify himself as this number one pick. The Lions will be keeping Matthew Stafford. I believe this to be the case. Matthew Stafford, even though he had a poor game against Kansas City, the week before, or 2 weeks before that, against the Bears, he showed this guy is still a franchise quarterback. And I don't see a quarterback in this draft that can come in day one and is better than Matthew Stafford. Jared Goff, Paxton, Lynch, these guys cannot come in day one and be better than Matthew Stafford. Forget it. So keep Matthew Stafford, protect his ass, get an offensive coordinator, get a new head coach, because if they finish like the first overall pick, as I'm projecting they will, yeah, you guys are going to need to get a new head coach in there, because Jim Caldwell will not survive that. So with that in mind, you protect Matthew Stafford. Now, he has some issues. Find a guy that can fix him. I still have a lot of faith in Matthew Stafford. So I don't see a quarterback that can come in day one and be better than Matthew Stafford. I don't see it. I have the Ravens taking Jalen Ramsey with the third pick. Now, here's the thing about this draft. This draft, I don't want to say it's weak. That weak is a very strong word, but it's not quite as strong in some positions, definitely, okay? Notably, wide receiver. And the Ravens would love to have like an AJ Green or a Julio Jones to take with this third pick, or an Amari Cooper. That's not available. And what you do have, though, you have some secondary guys. You have Jalen Ramsey or Vernon Hargreaves III, and I think that those are two guys the Ravens would really look at drafting here. They would love to take a wide receiver. They would love. But the best wide receiver out there, you can make an argument, is Laquan Treadwell. I would tell you is Corey Coleman. But let's just say Laquan Treadwell. He doesn't have great speed. He has nice hands, okay. It has some injury concerns as well. I don't think he's going top 10. So I see no way he goes all the way to number 3. I think the Ravens sit at number 3. I think they take Jalen Ramsey, who I have a lot of faith in right now. As of this moment, he's my second ranked prospect in this draft. And I think, especially for the Baltimore Ravens, he could be a really good free safety for years. But he's a much better safety than he is a corner. This is all depending on him being able and willing to play the safety position. He is an okay corner. He is a much better, oh my God, much better free safety. If he plays free safety and he develops, we could be looking at a next Ed Reed. And I'm not kidding when I say this. He's a playmaker. He can strip the ball. He can intercept the ball. He can pass deflect. He can lay the wood down on some tackles. But he needs to be a safety. And right now, they have him at corner. He's been playing safety the past 2 years at FSU. He needs to be a safety. And if he is, the Ravens should take him here. And they should know, they should be able to sleep well at night knowing that they have their next great safety in Jalen Ramsey. I have the Browns taking Paxton Lynch. News came down today that the Browns will be starting Johnny Manziel. Probably, I mean, they're starting him this week. Probably for the rest of the season, I wouldn't be surprised. Will he solidify himself as a starter? I don't think so. I don't have faith in Johnny Manziel, and I don't think the Browns do either. I think they're probably going to end up about 4-12, and they're probably going to be in the running to take a quarterback. And I think they're going to be the team with the first shot assuming that someone doesn't trade above them, and I don't think anyone will, because I think with this draft, I think there's really, in the first 2 rounds, I wouldn't be surprised if 6 quarterbacks win the first 2 rounds, maybe 8. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I think there's that many first or second round prospects. The problem is none of them are great. This is very similar to 2011 draft. We had Cam Newton, Jake Locker, Blaine Gabbert, Christian Ponder, Colin Kaepernick, Andy Dalton, Ryan Mallett, and I think that was all in the first 2 rounds. That's a lot of quarterbacks. There's a lot of quarterbacks here, but they're all question marks. They'll all have an eyebrow raised. Are they really that good? Now, is it going to be as bad as the 2011 ended up being? Because remember, of those names I just mentioned, Jake Locker's ass, Blaine Gabbert's ass, Christian Ponder's ass, and then Ryan Mallett's ass. So there's a lot of ass quarterbacks from the quarterbacks I just mentioned. Colin Kaepernick is no longer starting. Only 2 out of the 7 I mentioned are Cam Newton and Andy Dalton, so there's some issues, but I think teams will be more likely to just sit where they are and pick one of the 8 instead of moving up for one guy, because I don't think there's one guy. Last year there were 2 guys, and both of those guys were way better than anything we have this year. So last year was just the 2 teams are going to stay at the top and they're going to take their guys, and that was going to be the end of it. Now there's no one great, but there's a lot of possibilities, so teams are just going to sit where they are, look at who they want. Okay, I want this guy, and then take this guy. So that's what I think is going to happen when it comes to this quarterback class. I have the 49ers taking Jared Goff. They've benched Colin Kaepernick. That's the end of Colin Kaepernick. That's the end of the 49ers. That's the end of Jim Tomsula as far as I'm concerned. They'll have a top pick. They'll draft a quarterback. I'm absolutely positive and sure of that. Colin Kaepernick's reign in San Francisco is over. Sorry about that. I have the Texans taking quarterback Connor Cook. He was a fringe second-round talent to me. I'm still evaluating him. I need to see how he performed this past week. I guess Indiana, I believe. The kid is too inconsistently accurate. I mean, he's too streaky. I mean, I have a lot of issues with Connor Cook, but the Texans are sitting here. They need a quarterback. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I'm not even sure they need a quarterback. Brian Hoyer has not been great, okay? We get that. He has 13 touchdowns and 3 interceptions this year, okay? So really, what's the problem in Houston? Their defense is pretty bad, despite the fact that you may want to look at it and say they have J.J. Watt and they're going to be so good. Their defense is letting up 40 points to the Miami Dolphins. So will Connor Cook step in day one and be better than Brian Hoyer was this season? I'm not convinced of that. Maybe their offense just needs a new face. Maybe that's the problem here. But I'm not convinced that the Texans would even benefit from taking Connor Cook, who I don't really love. But I think this is really what I'm projecting right now. Anything else? I have the Cowboys taking Ezekiel Elliott with the 9th pick. I don't think they're going to be picking this high. But if they are, Elliott's the choice here. They need to get a new bell cow running back. They like to have a bell cow. Ezekiel Elliott can be that for them. And really, it'd just be unfair because this guy would come in and have 1,200 yards his rookie season. So that would be really, really unfair. Anything else noteworthy? Oh, I have the New York Jets with the 25th pick taking Christian Hackenberg. This is the most interesting and fascinating, perplexing, confusing case study I've ever seen while scouting. I've been scouting for about 5 years now. Christian Hackenberg is the most perplexing prospect I've ever seen. Really, this guy has the talent to be the first overall pick. He has the talent to be that. And if you look at him coming out of high school, people were so prophetic in proclaiming this guy would be the next big thing, the next Andrew Luck. So he has the tools. But something happened. He went to Penn State and he didn't progress. So you have to ask yourself, if you're a coach, if you're a scout, you're looking at this prospect, am I going to trust this guy to be able to improve, or is he just too screwed up now because he has bad tendencies, he has bad mechanics? Can your coaching fix him up? I don't know. The good thing about this is the Jets have Ryan Fitzpatrick. They could hold off on Christian Hackenberg. I don't know what kind of quarterback development system the New York Jets have. I know they have Chan Gailey, an offensive coordinator, but I think they're going to be looking for their next quarterback, franchise quarterback in this draft that's loaded with 8 guys that could potentially be franchise quarterbacks. So I see them taking a quarterback here. I see them taking Christian Hackenberg. I just don't know whether or not he's going to be good. I don't know if I'll ever know until he is or isn't in the NFL. It's a very interesting case study. I'm still deciding how to grade him. And I think that's pretty much the most interesting things in this mock draft. So it's all down below. Feel it, absorb it, look at it, and talk to me about it. And until next time, James Carter TV, I'm out. Peace.